Hi everybody, welcome back to the Limit Breakdown, where we break down the latest in movies, TV, and everything going on in entertainment. I'm your host, Migs.
I'm Sid.
And today we're going to be doing the first in our new series of videos called our Weekly Roundup. So we're going to first begin basically by talking about the latest going-ons in the world of entertainment, talking about the latest news. So there's been a lot of stuff going on lately and a couple things that we wanted to talk about. So the biggest news to come out here lately has been DC continuing to be the giant cluster that they are. There was some hope that things might change with James Gunn and Peter Safran being appointed as co-CEOs in charge of creative control. Basically the Kevin Feige's of DC.
Yep.
But the first thing they did was start chopping heads, and it was recently announced that Henry Cavill would not be continuing with Man of Steel 2. Gal Gadot is not going to be continuing as Wonder Woman. They apparently Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's not going to be continuing as Black Adam. Curiously enough, and I don't know if it's an issue of they've already got too much money invested, but they are planning on moving forward with the Flash movie.
Which makes less sense, but whatever.
And then there's still the Aquaman movie at the end of the year, so I feel like maybe, it might be one of those, like, they've already filmed the movies primarily, so they're just gonna release it to see what they do. But it's like, I don't understand, because, like, if they're resetting everything, it doesn't really make sense, because what if the movies do well?
I don't know. I find it kind of weird. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman was actually a phenomenal movie. I really enjoyed it. It's probably one of the best DC movies to have come out.
Well, the first one, yes, but the second one was
The second one was not that good. First one was a phenomenal movie. Henry Cavill as Superman, I think, was probably one of the best Supermen that have ever been played. Not only does he know the character himself, I think he embodies Superman as a person. And obviously The Rock being The Rock, the gold man of this century.
I'm gonna interrupt you for just a brief second.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Look, I like Henry Cavill a lot. I wasn't a fan of his Superman. Just because the thing with Superman is he is the embodiment of hope. Mm-hmm. And he was just so broody and moody. And I don't blame Henry Cavill for that. A lot of that was the writing.
Yeah.
They were pulling from, a lot of the Zack Snyder things and his, but the whole thing about Superman is that he's supposed to be the best of us. He's supposed to embody the best of humanity, even though he isn't human. And it just, I don't know, the way that he portrayed Superman, especially across those two movies, mostly Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna disagree.
Yeah.
And move on. I still think he's a I think he was great as Superman, especially in Man of Steel. Maybe not the others, but again, like you said, it was definitely the writing.
Yeah.
But to pull all three of those people, I know there was some back and forth between James Gunn and The Rock.
Yeah.
And some strong arming was happening on both ends, and they had a disagreement, but I think they worked it out cordially. Unfortunately, James Gunn was like, at the end of this, we'll be cordial, but I'm cutting this, so it's kind of weird.
I don't think James Gunn has much of a choice, man. The way that they had it laid out, and again, the only thing that's kind of up in the air is what's going to happen with Flash and Aquaman with their movies still releasing. But honestly, the best chance they have is to start a clean slate.
Yeah, and I think for Aquaman, I will say this for myself. I don't know about you guys or you. I am not going to go see the Flash movie only because I don't like Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
When he first got into the movies and the roles, I thought he was really, really amazing. And then the more I learned about his personality, I was like, I don't like this guy. So I'm not going to watch his movie. If I do, it's going to be... I'm not going to pay to watch the movie. How about that? Aquaman, I owe it to my man Jason Momoa. It's not for anything. It's just for him. I owe it to Jason Momoa to watch that movie. So I'm going to watch it.
I'm a blood rider.
Yeah.
That's my car.
As far as DC, I don't know if I've said this before. My opinion of DC as far as the silver screen goes, I think they should do kind of what they did with the Batman and Joker. Make individual movies and not try to follow MCU's pattern of connecting everything. Now, they want to make a few reference here and there. I think it's great. Be like, it's a cool reference. But don't bring it together. I think they would do way better, make more money, and make quality content if they just made... If they made a Superman solo movie and that was just about Superman and nothing connected to anything else, it would do great.
Here's my thought process on why DC is in the position that they're in. It has to do with the fact that they saw what Marvel was doing, they saw the kind of money that Marvel was making, and they wanted to get in on the action, but they didn't want to lay down the groundwork that Marvel did.
Yeah.
It took Marvel 12 years, 10 plus years to get to Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
And they made a hell of a lot of money on the process.
Granted,
but
those last few movies were...
But it took them all that time to build those characters, to have people form bonds with those characters, be attached to those characters. And whereas, they jumped right into the Justice League, they didn't really lay the foundations for any type of story building, and that's what they need. I think that it is possible to build a cohesive extended movie universe. And unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, the groundwork was laid by Marvel. This is what what companies are going to try to be doing with these big IPs going forward. Is they're going to be trying to make these movie cinematic universes, because it hadn't been done before, but now the formula is out there, and they're going to try to emulate. I think that it's possible for it to be done. I think, but it just has to have the right person guiding the story, guiding and guarding the story, because if the story doesn't make sense, the rest of it isn't going to make sense. And I think that's the big advantage that Marvel has had, has been they had Kevin Feige from the beginning.
Yeah, then they had like the core team, the executive producers, Kevin Feige. They even had
Jon Favreau. Yeah.
So they had Jon Favreau. They had this team that was like, we have this vision, this idea. And they all came behind it. And I agree. DC doesn't have anybody like that. Well, until now. So we'll see. We'll see what James Gunn and
I have faith. I have faith just by what James Gunn has done with the Guardians of the Galaxy series, taking relatively unknown characters and kind of really building a strong, cohesive team and narrative with them. I'm excited to see what he can do. I mean, look, I'm a huge Marvel fan, but don't get it twisted here. I'm also a huge DC fan.
Yeah.
I feel like DC has some of the most compelling villains and storylines in all of comics.
I think as far as storylines go, and actual content, I think DC overpowers Marvel. Especially if you guys have never checked it out. DC's animated movies are probably one of the best movies out there. Trying to bring DC to the silver screen.
Dude, I am dying for a good Green Lantern story, a good Green Lantern movie.
You know, like the Ryan Reynolds,
Look, I didn't hate that movie. I didn't think it was terrible. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't good.
Ryan Reynolds himself shot himself in the head in Deadpool because of how bad that was.
Well, hey, listen.
But yeah.
It's Hal Jordan, man. You don't have high expectations of Hal Jordan. But aside from that, Last of Us is coming out in a little bit over a week. So I'm super hyped about that. Early rumblings are very, very positive. I've been trying to avoid any spoilers, so I haven't read any reviews yet, but I'm super, super excited. What else is there anything else that you might be excited about this month?
I mean, I know Last of Us, like you said, I'm super excited for Last of Us. Obviously, it's starring Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, who were both in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
So that's going to be interesting, they're reuniting for a different show. I think it's gonna be fantastic.
You said Bella Ramsey.
Yeah,
She was the bear. Yeah,
the queen, the Lord.
Liana. What's her name?
I don't remember her.
Mormont. Liana
Mormont.
Mormont. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So.
Oh gosh, she had such a boss death in Game of Thrones. Sorry. Sidetrack. She
really
killed
good.
a giant, man.
She was
I love that.
I really
love that little girl.
So I think they're gonna do a fantastic job. Really excited for that. What else comes out in January?
And now that I think about it, like the casting is brilliant because the sass that Ellie has is gonna come out great with her because just the way she was shutting down the adults in Game of Thrones, that's gonna translate great.
Yeah.
So
one thing that is coming out also is, have you heard of That 90s Show?
Yes, I have.
So I'm actually excited for it. So the 90s Show is not like the 80s Show, which was a complete flop. It's basically the cast of that 70s show coming back and living in the 90s. And how their life has transpired. So the main character protagonists this time are actually Kitty and Red.
Okay.
Kitty and Red, and then the kids of.
So they're grandkids.
So they're grandkids. I'm just excited to see the nostalgia. I love Kitty's laugh. I can't even do it. It's ridiculous. And Red's, I think a lot of people's personalities are built around Red's.
Oh man, I'm gonna stick
Red's
my foot in your.
Yep. So I will not make the show. I know Fez is definitely gonna be in the show.
Fez is in there.
He's actually a really good guy. He loves UFC. He goes to all the things. He's a really good entrepreneur. He has 2 or 3 companies that he runs. Kelso, I keep naming them by their character names. Kelso, Ashton Kutcher, probably going to make an appearance. I love Ashton Kutcher.
Him and Mila Kunis actually are married now.
Are they? Yeah. Okay. I actually love Ashton Kutcher. I think he's a phenomenal human being. Yes. I actually really like him. Mila Kunis, also great actress, very attractive. I don't know if Donna's coming back. I'm pretty sure they'll probably pull her.
Yeah, dress her. Yeah.
So excited for that show as well.
Yeah, honestly, that 70s show was one of my favorites as well.
Yeah. So
that's pretty dope. Anything else that you can think of? Rounding out the week. Well, yeah. So we're gonna be excited for that. He already saw Avatar. I'm gonna go see it in the next couple days so that we can review it. So I'm excited about that, even though that's not necessarily new, but yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. This is gonna be our new weekly segment that we're gonna give a try out. Our weekly roundup talking about more current events. So if there's anything you guys want us to talk about, make sure you leave it in the comments, and we'll do our best to address it in the next coming weeks. We're very excited for a new year, and we appreciate all your support as always. Thanks. All right, so thanks for tuning in, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.
And please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and podcasting services such as Apple Podcast and Spotify.
Thanks a lot. Catch you next time.